So this causes a confusion, a confused child. The child is depressed today, he's happy tomorrow. He finds joy in other things, and just to get by with his colleagues or with mates. Hello everyone, you're welcome to my corner again. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today we're going to be continuing from where we left off the last time, where we started discussing about character. And I'm sure you went to check what this means. If you've not, go and check. And you can also see that this has a lot of things to do with maybe the fonts, the alphabetical fonts, and things that are really static. They rarely change, right? For example, a text that is written, right? Maybe I write character, I write my name, Dr. Paul. All right, I can change the font, I can change how it looks, but I can't change what it reads. So people have taken more time to change how they look than what they read. All right, so it is more important you understand your flaws, you understand how your weaknesses, and then you start developing strength to combat those weaknesses. So you don't focus on your weakness, you focus on strength, building strength, building capacity to combat those weaknesses. And when that is done, it is possible that you're also going to help other people combat those weaknesses. I've worked with a client that, believed that if he had shared my contact to other people, that he's now going to, be sharing beautiful flyers with other people. Like, he doesn't want other people to enjoy what he's enjoying from me. And when I discovered that, I was sad, but then maybe I haven't built enough character to combat, to go straight to him and confront him. I actually ghosted him. All right, stop picking his calls, stop having anything to do with him, and I don't know where he is now, but I'm not sure he's having. I'm not sure his flyers are still good and all of that. I know a lot of people have done it too. Have you also witnessed those clients that tell you that you are like the fifth guy I'm meeting now? A lot of people have done the work, you have not done it right, and you are the fifth person I'm meeting, stuff like that. You're actually going to be the fifth that is not going to do that job right. There are clients that you meet, they are overly perfect. They don't launch anything. They start, they be on it for longest of time, iteration upon iteration. Let me talk to my dog. Let me talk to my wife. Let me talk to my colleagues. I'll get back to you. Sometimes they get pissed off just quite easily because of these things. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you some patterns you will observe, and it will even make sense to you why you act the way you act, or why your clients behave the way they do. And maybe you can, with empathy, with understanding, with being able to communicate, can help us, solve this problem. Stay tuned. So right now, let's begin by upbringing. A lot of things, psychologists have, done their research. They have observed that there are things called patterns, right? When something repeats over time, we, by observation, put meaning to it. And by putting meaning to it, it helps us place it exactly. All right, like I said in the previous video, anything you can't explain, you cannot sustain. Any success you can't explain, you can't sustain. So some people will tell you, I just know it. I don't know how I got to know it. That is true for their subconscious mind, but there's actually a process to success. Else, our educational background, might happen, because the people that communicated the education to us was able to document their thoughts. So by this process of documentation, by the virtue of documentation, process of documentation, scientists have realized, I've forgotten the man's name, all right, that there are about 4 types of parents. And this type of parent, their parenting style have rubbed off on their kids. And we grow up this way, not even knowing how we become what we have become. A lot of things tell in our character. And one of those things that this guy talked about was the free and autonomous parents. These parents, give their children free hands. They encourage their kids. Whatever the kid wants, you're going to have. So it's just free for them. Just, they explore. They feel free to explore and ask questions and get. The parents are quite available and see them through the processes of their life. The second is the parents that are absent, right, or dismissive, right? These parents just want their kids to go wherever you like. Okay, do it. Just go. They lack every sense of validation. These kids don't have, so much authority, right, to tell them what to do and what not to do. No, just dismiss it. Let's just, it's different from the first one. The first one has support. Second one doesn't have any support at all, right? Whether good or bad, he just gets himself, wrapped in the mud and, gets scolded. The third one is the ambivalent and mixed and ambivalent, where it's neither hot, it's hot today, it's cold tomorrow. There are these parents that are always available today. Tomorrow they travel, you don't see them again. There's a mix of extreme extrovertedness and extreme introvertedness. So this causes a confusion, a confused child. The child is depressed today, he's happy tomorrow. He finds joy in other things, and just to get by with his colleagues or with mates. And he's neither here nor there. Today is decisive, tomorrow is not. And just a whole lot happens in that cycle. And the last one is the chaotic, where these parents project these things, project their inabilities, project their sadness, project whatever thing the world have thrown at them at their kids. The kids are never right on anything. They lack all sense of disapproval. All right, so this kid finds it outside, is excited, right? You see some people, that give birth to the whole chaos we call love language, right? Anybody that gives him looks like love, he picks it up. Just a very confused kid. Now we have all these people and all these things projected in the society, and these are the people you are going to be working with. There are clients that will police you, all right, will be on your case, all right, with the little amount of money they have. Right? It has nothing to do with professional background. It has nothing to do with all of that. I know a lot of people have, told you, some theoretical stuff on how, to manage clients, but you can't manage what you don't know the source. You can't solve a problem you've not yet discovered the source. And his is the source. Character. All right? You don't know. And therefore you attack most times because of how you were brought up to. Your response is to attack or to fight. Other times your response is to flight, to run away from these people. And does that really solve the problem? It may, temporarily, but it doesn't change who you are. It doesn't change who you're going to become. I'm not saying you're going to work with toxic clients forever. I want to explain to you, I'm saying that you need to know how it happens. So you are in control of every situation. You are in control of every conversation. You yourself understand how you understand the kind of people how and when to delegate this conversation, or how to even get this conversation to come to this point. So sometimes you may need to communicate better at the early stages. Sometimes some clients you may need to sign contracts at the early stages. Sometimes you may need to talk a certain way. Sometimes you may need to have calls. Sometimes you may need to let them be. All right, but that doesn't change who you are. And sometimes you may need to be the one to render apology or pacify until you get the job done. So I'm not going to be offering you solutions, number one, number two, because there are different problems here. So, but two things I'm going to say. Everyone is a client, and it is either you are a client to someone, or you are seeking to be a client to someone. And you have your problems, you have the things you've gone through, you have how you've been brought up, and you want us to understand. I also want you to understand them and attack this with empathy, which is the second thing I'm going to say. Attack things with empathy. I understand there are times you might want to raise your voice, there are times you might want to, put it back. But also know that clients are like sick people. Sometimes they don't know, sometimes they know too much. They don't want you to help them. Sometimes you might want to bring in a third party. Sometimes you might want to work with a team. All right. But what is very important is empathy. Because if this goes well, there are chances that their friends that are sane might also come back to you. So prioritize your character over your reputation is one thing. But your reputation also is as important as your character. But let's tackle the root thing first. So attack it with empathy, and if possible, processes that's going to limit things getting out of hands. And when it do, or when it does, please have a conversation. Don't fight, and don't take a flight. Thank you very much. Hope this helps. See you in the next one.